Hey out-of-body explorers, today I want to talk about how when you do your practice of out-of-body exploration and you really are consistent, your day life will crisscross into that night life to give you confirmation. One of my favorite stories is, I got a lot of favorite stories, but it's just the way I talk. On April 10th, 2019, it was a Wednesday, basically you have your regular day life, so you're kind of going through the day and you don't realize that you're an out-of-body experience. And so what you need to know is that you are in rooms just like in video games. So be aware of that, and you can switch out those video games by moving into what your intentions are. So that's why it's important when you write these intentions. But I was in some kind of school, and I look out the window, I'm like, oh, I'm in a place teaching somewhere. And then I see that I'm in a little circle, and I'm like, oh, I'm teaching children the out-of-body experience. Oh, because my guide was Todd Akamesis. And now at this point I did know of him because of the YouTubes, but he was my guide. So I was learning from him as I had my little circle of, they were like 8, 10, 12 years old, and I was teaching them about the out-of-body experience. And so what was amazing about it is that, I also had other people there, and they would look at me, these little kids, and they're like, hey, how you doing? One of them says to me, oh, you're the one that hears the fairies sing all the time. And I'm like, how does this one know? Hello? Well, of course, I said, oh, no, I see them. So I literally see them, so I don't hear them. And this individual was telling me that I was able to hear them. And so what was great about it, so here I am in this out-of-body situation, and I realized, I'm like, oh my God, I am in a school for witches. And I want you to know, I don't call it a school of witches, I call it like an X-Men school. You learn about your authentic gifts at my out-of-body experience school. So, and then this is where the chaos starts. That's where it's going to be a bombing and occurrence in the parking lot. And these two little boys who are warlocks or out-of-bodyers, this is what I write, all of a sudden I look out the window because the siren is blasting in our ears to exit the school because we're going to be bombed. And I was more concerned about my car. And as I look out the window, these two little boys, they were probably like 10 or 11 years old, they're driving my car. And so I start booking down the ramp. I get out of my school, I get out of the building, and I see them park my car, and then they come over to me, hand me my keys. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. But how did you get my keys? And they're like, Coach, are you serious? You're teaching us this. And so in gratitude, I was like, oh, don't worry, I'll give you a psychic reading, or I'll make you dinner. I felt really good that I taught them something, and they saved my car. Now, the worst part about this entire thing is that I look across through the fence, and it was a black gated fence like the one they have in cemeteries. Yeah, that's what they had. And I look up, and there are 3 pillars. They look like cigar-shaped pillars. They were like straight up like this, back to back. I could see it. I look over, and a black Hummer comes right by me, parks, and a huge black guy walks out. Like he was like 6'7", looks through the fence. He had a fedora on, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna take him down. And I look over, I couldn't tell if it was a demon, Satan, or was it a reptile? But something was on his back, and he got into the passenger seat. He was being driven by someone, and I already knew he was being hijacked. And I want you to know, I met that person months later. I met him in another psychic class. And let me tell you, he has to go see someone to get these entities off. So overall, though, I was very excited because I woke up and I'm like, wow, I have my out-of-body school. I go to work out, and here's where your lives crisscross. I go to work out, and the guy who's at the gym puts his playlist on, and here's the song he had on, Running with the Devil. And if you ever heard that song, the beginning goes right into a siren. It's the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then I realized, I'm like, oh my God, it's really true. There are people that are hijacked. So like I said, your night life crisscrosses into your day life to always give you confirmation. Okay, out-of-body explorers, press like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to watch that video right now. It's a good one. I like it. All right, see you next week.